Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This Dad's Platinum Journey here, and today we are going to be playing Lego DC Villains for that coveted Platinum Trophy. Right, let's have a little chat about the game itself, shall we? So this is the fourth title in the Batman Lego series. It was developed by Traveller's Tales and published by Warner Brothers and was released on the 19th of October in 2018 over on the PlayStation, Switch, Xbox and PC, and did see a Mac release as well, but that was a year later. It did well on its release. It did score okay in most parts. It was sort of on the average of sort of 75-ish, maybe slightly higher. It, for some reason, scored better on Switch and PC. I don't know why. The ports weren't massively different, but for some reason the Xbox and PlayStation reviews were a little bit more mixed. Although I actually thought this was a wonderful return to form for the series. If you're familiar with like Batman and the Batman series, this is the first one to really feature the villains in its entirety. Now, if you remember back to the original Batman game, you would have done the villain levels, but this one really kind of gives a lovely spotlight focus on those wonderful bad guys that we actually love so much. I don't know why that is. But anyway, so this is a really great feature for those. It also gives you the option here of creating your own character, and for the first time ever in a DC or any Lego game at all, you get to play as that through the main story and has a pinnacle role in the story itself. But we'll touch on that when we get to a little story synopsis in a little bit. There's a couple of things on here just to kind of note through as well. There's a whole bunch of DLC, as is the way with Lego games. They tend to do that, particularly with these sorts of properties. You've got things from the film, so if you were interested in, I don't know, Shazam or Aquaman, there are like Lego DLC packs that you can buy that you can play with this. So again, if you're a fan of that, you can go and get those. There's also some really cool like TV ones with Young Justice, or even like one of my favourites, which is the Batman animated series. I don't buy a lot of DLC, but I might pick that one up just to kind of give that one a whirl. That looks really interesting. One of the main things, I've tried to have a look at the development. It isn't really much on there, but there was a massive sort of bit on here about the voice acting cast, and it is stacked. Please go out your way to have a little look at it, but it's a really, really fun way because, you know, Joker and Batman being played by Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy is just the pinnacle. But anyway, let's take a little look at the trophy list for that Platinum. Right, let's get a nice little glimpse and look through this trophy list that we've got here. Now, we can see that the Platinum has been earned by 1% of players. That is total players. It's not on the like the website sort of rankings on there. But we've got 3 golds, 10 silver and 32 bronze that we need to go through. So the first bunch of trophies that we're going to be seeing here are mainly going to be like the story stuff. So they're just going to like scroll through. Now, there are 15 sort of main levels that you need to complete, and then there are going to be 5 bonus ones, and they're all going to be listed up on here. Now, once you get through to the bottom, you're going to see a nice gold trophy, which is there. It is called Anti-Life Finds Away, and that is going to be for completing the actual 15 mainline like trophies for the mainline levels that you need to get on there. Okay, there's also a trophy at the bottom there, which is for Max and Act Stud Bar. So we're going to start with a little bit of those like collectibles in the levels there. It's also the mini kits, so they're back again. There's going to be mini kits, so you need to find 5 in each of the levels that you need to do. We've got gold bricks, characters, quests. These are going to be part of it going to be inside the levels, but then you're going to move on to a lot of the free roam, like open world stuff as well. So there's going to be a nice mixture of trophies now as we kind of delve down into this. you know, we've got to do some graffiti. There's the gold trophy for 100% completion. That's when everything is done, obviously. There's races, secret characters like Lobo. He's the other gold trophy that you need to go and get. You're going to get that all within the 100% completion. There's more stuff down here, you know, custom character, you know, fun Lego stuff that you're going to get like when you're playing this game. There's a couple of battle mechanics that we're going to go through. Seriously, nothing on this list is going to be massively difficult really to kind of go through. And really the last little bit that we're going to look at here, is purchasing the vehicles, 10 times multiplayer. Again, just a couple of battle things on there. There's completing a level without dying, which I think is quite a... I don't know if it's a new one like for Lego, but it's one that's certainly new for me. So that one's on there. Again, I don't think it's going to pose too much difficulty that we need to get through. Again, there's a couple more miscellaneous trophies. These are going to be like probably mainly like open world stuff once you've unlocked the characters. Going on the fairground ride, again, that's just going to be something that's just going to be a miscellaneous thing that you're just going to have to just go and do just to go and get the trophy. But it's probably going to be quite fun, like to journey around that. And this is the last bit that's down here, which is taking selfies, because that's a thing in this game. We're going to be taking some selfies and bits and pieces and doing some dance mode. Again, I've seen a few trophies like this when it comes to Lego games. They love a little dance mode. So that is pretty much like the trophy. It's going to be split up nicely into its sort of story, the free play, the open world, and then some miscellaneous stuff on there like to go through and do. Yep, so that is what we need to get done there today. It's not really too difficult. I think we're going to be getting it done nice and easy. So let's move on to stage number 1 of our platinum journey. Right, here we go with some Lego goodness. It is our story mode here. So you're going to be taking yourself through 15 main story chapters plus 5 bonus ones at the end. Now the story is going to be centered around your customized character as he kind of joins up with the villains. You're going to be tackling up with the Justice League very early on in this story, but they're going to be taken out by the Justice Syndicate, a sort of from another dimension. They've sort of come down and they've got rid of them, and they've actually been controlled by Darkseid. We sort of figure out quite early on that he's sort of behind all of this, and he wants to destroy the universe. Of course he does. And because the villains, I don't know, want to do it themselves, maybe, lol, they're off to save the world, okay? So that's basically what we're going to be going through today, and it's a really wicked story. But let's talk about some trophies. So the first one here is essentially the first trophy you're going to get. It's going to be for creating your custom character. And just for that, bronze trophy, wonderful stuff. Now while you're here, you may as well get this one. Now this one is for basically changing up your top 5 times. So just stay in the customizable thing, change it up, and you'll be able to get another trophy there. Very, very easy. Now you're going to get yourself bronze trophies. Now these are so easy. Essentially you're going to get like 20 bronze trophies, one for each chapter in the game. But there is one gold, which is what you get for completing the 15th one, which is essentially the end of the story. So you do actually get a bronze and a gold at the same time. I know, right? 2 for 1. It's awesome. This one in particular is actually for completing a level without dying. It's a silver trophy. You should get this very early on. I don't know why I didn't get it on the first one. I got it on the second level, but there you go. You'll get this very, very easy on. You'll be able to get through Lego games without too much worry or trouble. There's a couple of battle ones I think you should try and get, particularly on your initial playthrough, and then they're kind of out the way. This one is just for a 10 times multiplier. So when you build up your multiplier by obviously attacking enemies, not getting hit, and you'll be able to build that up to a 10. You should be able to do that quite easily at some point in the game. This next one was a little bit more tricky. I think I got this on the free play, but you could try and get this as you play through. What you need to essentially do is find a big group of enemies, grab one of them, and just run around. And the trophy is called Battering Ram or something like that, or Rammed. And you just have to hit 5 enemies while holding another one, essentially. A little more challenging, a little more difficult. But let's move on to stage 2. Right, so next section, as you know, because it's a Lego game, what have you got to do once you've finished all the levels? You play them all again. But this time, you're in your sort of free mode here, where you can be any character that you want, and that allows you to be able to kind of do all the puzzles and get all the collectibles. So as you can see on the screen here, this is sort of a screen you'll be looking at. You're looking at 5 mini kits that are going to give you a lovely newspaper. We'll look at those in just a second in more detail. You're going to be getting red bricks. You're going to be getting the picture, some gold bricks here. They are for completing the level. True Villain, we'll talk about. The picture and also the mini kits. You'll get gold bricks there as well. You'll be collecting some characters in there, so make sure you find the hidden characters inside the levels themselves. Alright, you'll be getting characters on your normal playthrough. So these trophies are actually related to that. So once you've got True Villain in every single level, you'll be getting yourself a lovely silver trophy there. And this last one is for the mini kit specifically. So once you've actually achieved all of the mini kit sets within the levels, head on over to Metropolis, over to the Daily Planet. Once you've viewed them all, then that's when the trophy will pop. So it's not actually when you collect them. It's actually when you go over and view them, that's when that's going to go. So technically it's an open world, but it's that kind of trophy. Alright, let's move on now to that open world and that third part of our platinum journey. Okay, we're now on to stage 3 of the platinum journey. This is the open world section, and this is where the journey kind of takes a little bit of a downturn. From previous like Lego games, when you go all the way back to things like sort of Lego Star Wars, it was very much like focused on doing the levels and then 100% in those, and we never really had like open worlds. And ever since the games have really kind of opened it up, I've not always been the biggest fan of like these sort of like Lego worlds that you kind of get around. I think they're fun and there's lots of really nice challenges in here, and I'll go through some of those specifically in a little bit, but I think sometimes they tend to pack it too much full of extra stuff that doesn't really add anything much to it. For me personally, I think we could have done with just having some of these scaled down slightly, because the map's quite big and there's a ton of stuff like to go around and do. So there's actually these consoles like in each area. So what you need to essentially first of all do in order to unlock all of the like missions is to go down to these, and then you kind of press a button and then boom, off they all pop. They kind of float around, and then you can kind of see what you need to get done in each area. So start tackling those missions to get your gold bricks and your characters and all that sort of stuff up. Here's an example as well, because I didn't actually notice these until a little bit later, which is these challenges. These are a pain, to be honest with you. These are a pain. There's a trophy for doing all of it, and I'll show you which one it is in a little bit. But essentially, like, each area has its own little challenge that you need to do. So basically, you just got to go on it, and there are clues. And they're basically like little collectibles, like little bats around the like Wayne Manor, or like little teeth around amusement area. The bit that I did like is these races. I actually quite like it. I don't mind them. They're like little fun little challenges. You know, some of them are really intricate and like what they ask you to do, particularly the flying ones, and they ask you for sort of specific types of vehicles. So you get a trophy for completing them all. This one is, again, going back to some of the challenges require you to do some graffiti in Gotham. And there's actually a trophy related to achieving just those. Obviously, you got the graffiti in the levels that we did earlier, and then there's another block of them that you need to do out in the open world. So they're kind of 2 in 1 there. This is back in Amusement Mile. There's gold trophies on offer for tackling the sort of like some of the games. But there's also another separate trophy, which is basically riding all the miniatures. So go around Amusement Mile and have a bit of fun. Some of them are quite little fun little Lego things. This is the trophy for actually completing the challenges. So this was the last one I did, and then it actually linked in with the same of me collecting all the gold bricks. So I've got like a 2-for-1. There's going to be a few of these in a little bit. So once you've done all the missions and everything like that, you will actually get the all the gold bricks. This was like Lobo had some missions that you had to do for him specifically, and that then leads you to being able to then like collect him. So again, it all kind of ties in with each other. But this was like the last mission he asked me to do was like take some photos of him. Then it kind of goes up onto the screen, like to basically unlock him. I had all the characters at this point, and then you get then another gold trophy for specifically unlocking Lobo. So for me, he was the last character that I needed, so I kind of got, again, like 3 trophies in one hit there. The last thing that it asks you to do, so once you kind of got everything done, the 100% thing is you go over to here. It basically asks you to go over. You get like the last like vehicle. That's another trophy, and then basically straight after that you get the pop for the 100%. So that is the grind. That is the open world section. Whew. Now with all that done, all that's really left is just some really fun Lego silliness and some miscellaneous trophies that you can do out in the open world. So this first one that you can see, basically taking a selfie with Batman as the Joker. This next one is for having Two-Face and the Riddler inside the Batcave. So that's the next one on there. This one is just taking another selfie. This one with, I want to say Chang Su. I may be getting that wrong. I'm not familiar with this particular character. But again, it's just another little selfie that you can take on there. This next one is for the Boogie Woogie Woogie one, for getting 5 people to dance using the Music Meister. He's on there. That's quite fun. Get a few characters boogieing around. This next one is for having Talon and Owlman just in the party. So just select those characters, no particular location, just get those out there and you'll do it. This one was a cool one because I really kind of combined this with the rest of the gliding missions, and it's doing a minute of gliding with Batman. So just whenever there's a gliding one, use Batman, and eventually you'll get the trophy to pop anyway. But it was really awesome, actually. I really liked the gliding challenges. They provided a lot on there. This last one literally is just to get a wanted level up. So just attack the police and they start going after you. But that's it, team. There's your platinum. Welcome back, everybody. Let's have a little bit of a chat and let's just go through a bit of a rundown of my experience with LEGO DC Supervillains. This was an absolute blast to play. I'm not going to let the collectibles kind of get me down too much. The game as a whole is absolutely amazing. I think if you're a LEGO fan or a DC fan, you're definitely going to get a kick out of this game, and I wholeheartedly do it. Particularly parents, if you've got young children, they're going to have a real good blast like just mucking about with this game. Particularly like, you know, through some of the levels. You better help them in 2-player mode to kind of get through it. And also just having just a bit of a fun time out in the open world. They can be their, you know, their favourite characters, and they can kind of run around and do what they want to do around there and just have a bit of fun. It really is a very, very joyful game to kind of go and play. So overall, this game, I would give it the similar sort of score as what the kind of like the critics were sort of saying. I'd say it's about an 8 out of 10 for me. I really think this is a return to form for LEGO. I've been a fan of the series for such a long time, and to come back to it, particularly from a fresh perspective of this, to see where it's come to, it's really, really awesome. Because my only downfall, I think, from the actual experience of the game, I would prefer the collectibles to be in the levels. I don't mind doing stuff in the open world. Like a lot of the races are always really, really fun. Like some of the missions are like quite engaging, like to kind of go around and just run around and just sort of do silly things. It's really decent, but I felt like it was just a little bit too much out in the open world. It felt a little overwhelming at times when you were trying to clear the map, particularly when the missions, once you do one, another one pops up, and another one pops up, another one pops up. You can kind of feel like you're not really getting anywhere with it. So for me, I think that would be the only thing that I would say that I'd probably change if it was down to me, but it's not my decision. But obviously the platinum itself, for the most part, was really, really awesome. Like getting the stuff inside the levels. You are going to find the collectibles grind probably the biggest portion of the time when you're not getting any trophies. You can obviously get some of the miscellaneous stuff, but I saved all that stuff at the end just because it's just little silly things you can do. Plus you need to get all the sort of characters and things to be able to do it. So it was nice to kind of save those to the end so you can kind of get them done all in one go. But there'll be a big portion of time where you're just doing the open world stuff, and then you'll start getting all the trophies like all at once. You saw it like in the video. Once you get towards the end of it, they just start popping up like after, you know, after the missions and stuff like that. So there's a big drought. So, you know, just be prepared for that if you are a trophy hunter going through it. It's a bit of a grind. You're probably going to be there for a good like 15 to 20 hours doing the open world stuff, like quite easily. Like it's quite a lot to do. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to undersell it. But I'd give the list definitely, I'm going to say like a 7. I'm not detracting too much from it. I just think that I think their collectibles were just a little bit like too much to kind of like get through. I mean, it's not the list's fault, but the list is very collectibles heavy, which is obviously what LEGO games could be. But maybe they could have done a few more like fun, silly LEGO things that they could have like kind of thrown in there just to kind of get you to do something a little bit different, which is what trophies can sometimes do. It's just kind of get you to experience things outside the norm of the playthrough. So it'd have been nice maybe to kind of like incorporate some little LEGO silliness like in there. That would have been fun. That would have been fun. But my favourite trophy, I really liked the flying trophy. Although it was relatively small, the gliding missions, or just the missions in general, like the racing ones, were really, really fun. But I specifically liked the gliding ones because it was reminiscent to me of like playing Batman Arkham, and it was nice to kind of go back and sort of like go do that. And even though the trophy was only gliding for a minute, I just really enjoyed like doing that. So that was probably like my most sort of like enjoyable trophy that I did. Special mention kind of goes out to my oldest daughter, who, again, like in the video I said, she helped me get the gold trophy, and she was over the moon getting that. She couldn't stop talking about it. So that was a really nice special mention. So it was a really nice moment for me to kind of get that with her. I think the worst trophy, or the one that I just didn't like really getting, was probably the one, I can't remember the name of it, but it's the one where it's associated to the challenges. Again, I mentioned it into the video. I felt like they just provided probably just too many collectibles like for my money, because you're already doing all these missions and then you're kind of finding extra collectibles like in the areas as well. Some of them I don't mind, like you could scatter like some of the pictures around the places that you need to spray paint and take selfie with. Like there was ones with the statues. Don't mind that sort of stuff. Just a few things are fine, but I felt like there was just too much stuff to kind of go around and get. So for me, that was probably the trophy that kind of, yeah, probably like drove it down a little bit too far. But overall, this was an absolutely wicked experience. It was really, really fun. I got this game on PlayStation Plus, so I'm a member of that now. So I'm going to get a few games off of there. We'll see what the rest of the year brings when it comes to PlayStation Plus. Maybe we'll get a few extra gems in there that I want to kind of go back to and play. But we've got so much already on the table, already laid out for you this time. So that was my Platinum journey, everybody. It was, again, absolutely wicked experience. I really wholeheartedly loved this game. I thought it was fantastic. Just a little grinding through to the end there. I am going to be doing Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, so that is going to be the next video that you're going to be seeing. I don't want to take too long kind of getting that out, so I'm hoping to kind of get that out to you within the next sort of week, 2 weeks. Don't forget to go and follow up, like and subscribe to the channel, because we've got live streams coming up, and we've got Ghost of Tsushima finishing up this Friday. It's tomorrow as of time of recording when this goes live, but it may very well be the future for you, depends on when you're watching this video. So why not go and watch the Ghost of Tsushima like live streams, and we're going to be earning the Platinum there, and that's going to be the subsequent following video after that. So we've got lots and lots coming to the channel over the next few weeks. We will be live streaming as well Horizon Forbidden West, so when that game does launch, we're going to be streaming that game. And the last thing that I'm going to be plugging on here is we actually have a collaboration partner with this video. I recently went on to the reunion podcast for Final Fantasy VII Remake and had an absolute blast chatting to the guys over there. I'm going to leave a link into the description below over to that sort of like interview discussion. We talked all things Final Fantasy and about my passion for Final Fantasy and for trophy hunting and what that meant for me and the series. Alright, so I just want to give a nice little shout out to those guys over there. So why don't you go check out the podcast that I feature on, go check them out. They're an absolutely delight to kind of listen to. Really, really awesome conversations if you like your Final Fantasy, of course. Alright everybody, okay, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow me over on Twitter at thisplatinum. I'm going to leave you with the platinum moment to kind of finish out the video. Take care everybody, stay safe, and keep hunting those trophies.
Yeah.